Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are set to go head-to-head in what's sure to be a savage debate on September 10th, broadcast on the ABC. But as is commonplace with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, the debate lead-up has been marred by controversy. Sky News All Stars Megyn Kelly, Nigel Farage and Kristin Tate take a deep dive into the debate drama and foreshadow who will come out on top. The date has been set for Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's showdown. But just like her predecessor, Kamala Harris is scrambling to change the rules at the final hour to give her the best possible chance of winning, reveals Sky News All-Star Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage standing by right now for us in London. There is so much to get to, and I'm so pleased with the show that he chooses to appear on each and every week because, mate, Kamala Harris, so apparently if she's going to do an interview before the end of the month, she's going to have, as Megyn Kelly says, her emotional support governor with her. But more importantly, this whole thing about the debates, all right? I get the distraction because the real thing is 3 years since the horror of Afghanistan. But she wants notes. Like, honestly, this is a person who, for a whole week, last week, was the second coming and was so smart and so brave and so strong. Then why does she need notes at a debate and a minder in an interview?
Well, truth is, of course, as soon as she's off script, on subjects like economics, she just flaps and flounders around because she clearly hasn't got a blooming clue. Now, the rules of these debates were, of course, between Biden and Trump. All the Trump team are saying is the same rules should apply. And I think in America, in Britain and elsewhere, I see too many of these big political programs where leading figures are allowed to go in with a big crib sheet, thick of notes, turn to the subject and read it out. I think broadcasters need to be much, much tougher on our leaders. Have a pencil and blank sheet of paper, by all means, but Team Trump are absolutely right to say no notes.
Sky News US analyst Michael Ware agreed, saying the Harris camp are trying to catch Trump out with hot mics, which the Trump camp are not allowing.
Let's not forget that one of the sticking points getting us to this this debate were the rules, and particularly about open mic night, if I can put it like that. We saw in the previous debate with then candidate President Biden, the other speaker's mic was muted when the other candidate was speaking. Now, on this one, Vice President Harris really wanted President Trump to be unmuted. She wanted him to be set loose. But the word is that his campaign, rather than President Trump himself, really insisted on having President Trump muted on his mic.
Farage then went on to slam Harris for her lack of visibility throughout the campaign, due in large part to her reliance on an auto cue, which will be a challenge for her in this upcoming debate.
When they can't put her out there. It's not because they're trying to be scarce with her. You can't be scarce in an election. I mean, you were able to get millions of votes because you were everywhere. You can't hide, can you, mate?
No, I mean, Biden got away with it in 2020 because of the pandemic. They sort of locked him in his bunker in Delaware and used the pandemic as cover. No, I mean, look, she has not given a single major press conference, a single major television or radio interview. She gets up on stage, she reads off an auto cue, and as soon as she goes off that, she is literally clueless. And so the point about not having notes is, you're testing mental acuity, yes, but you're also testing instinct. A question may come up that you hadn't necessarily thought would. It's how do you instinctively deal with that? And so often with politicians like Kamala Harris, one senses there isn't that much instinct there. The job is all about reaching, a title, position, rank, respectability. It's more about that than what the person actually believes in. So this debate on the 10th of September, it is crucial. We need to see these two people head to head. And I'm sure, after negotiations, I'm sure it will happen
Donald Trump doubled down on this, slamming Kamala Harris for asking to have a desk and notes for the upcoming debate.
He kept looking down, up. Nobody wants to cover it. I know all about notes. I mean, it's all right if people know that, but she wasn't supposed to have notes. So she's asked a question. She looks down. She had notes. That means she knew that she knew what was happening.
Did her campaign, when they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the?
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic hot.
And they wanted a desk. They didn't want to do. I said, you got to do a stand-up.
After they already agreed to the other.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning. You know who else wanted a desk? Sleepy Joe. He wanted a desk.
All right.
Trump's VP, J.D. Vance, backed up his boss, saying Kamala Harris knows that she will lose the debate unless she has a bias set up.
Over the last few weeks, Kamala Harris has been trying to change the rules on the debate. She wants to change everything because she knows that unless she gets the rules that she wants, unless she has a bias set up, the American people are going to reject her. But you know what she really wants to do? And look out for this on September the 10th. She really wants a moment where she can interrupt Donald Trump and say, I'm speaking. Because, Kamala Harris, sometimes I think she doesn't want to be the vice president. She wants to be the vice principal. She really likes to just tell people what to do. And she really wants that moment where she says, I'm speaking. Right? And that's exactly what you'll watch for it on September the 10th. And then you can come back and say you heard it here first. That Kamala Harris, what I'd like her to actually do again is just explain her record, because I think the American people deserve to have a president who explains their record and doesn't run from it.
And Trump added, Harris has an advantage, claiming her best friend is the head of the ABC.
Her best friend is the head of the network. I've already heard they're going to get the questions in advance.
The former president making unfounded claims that Harris will have an unfair advantage.
You might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her.
Sky News All-Star Megyn Kelly slammed Kamala Harris for her absurd requests in the lead up to the debate, saying the test is easier if it's open book.
Our favourite time of the week is when we talk to Megyn Kelly. She's in the United States and we talk an awful lot of politics because there's a lot of it around. Lovely to see you, rock star.
Great to be here.
So, about a week's time, we will be right on top of what is supposed to be the Trump-Harris debate. They say it's locked, but then it seems like it's not. I don't think it's about microphones. I think it's about whether Harris can bring paper notes with her. What do you think, a week out from when they're supposed to debate?
It's just such nonsense. They're going to do it. They're going to debate. It's too tight a race not to do it. Both sides think that they can win, that they can beat the other one. So, I guess we're just going to have these, pissing contests between now and then about mics or notes or what have you. The notes thing is absolutely absurd. Technically, she's already been denied the ability to bring notes on there. The test is easier if it's open book. We all know that. But she's running to be president. She's going to have to be facile with policy without her little notepad next to her at all times. So I don't think she's going to be allowed to bring notes in. I actually think Trump will throw down over that one. And the mic thing is just a reason to keep attention going. Trump loves to have drama around these debates, so I think that's why he's continuing it.
Sky News All-Star Kristin Tate agreed, saying the requests are drawing voters' attention to Kamala Harris's incompetencies.
Surely she can't dodge this debate on September the 10th. It's supposedly locked in. Now, Donald Trump wants exactly the same rules as occurred with Joe Biden. Have a look at what he's got to say.
Ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules. Same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be. But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate.
Yeah, the same rules seems fair, Kristin, but apparently Kamala Harris's team is saying that they don't want the microphones shut off when the other person's not speaking.
Yes, not only that, they want a seated debate and opening statements, and they want notes. They want to be able to have notes. I reckon Trump is correct, and they're trying to get out of this. Why wouldn't they try to get out of this, Chris? It's all downside for Team Kamala Harris. I mean, everything's going great for her right now, and you risk people remembering why nobody liked her in 2020. And also what this speaks to is the lack of confidence that Kamala Harris's team has in their candidate. They don't trust her to be in a debate with no notes, and they don't trust her to even memorize lines written for her by her handlers. It's quite pathetic, but that's exactly what's going on.
So, what does this all mean for the outcome of the debate? Well, finance entrepreneur and geopolitics expert Dr. Roger Giewolb says he thinks Kamala Harris will have a hard time winning against the formidable Donald Trump.
Time again, staying in the United States, the high-stakes debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is only a week away. There are reports that Kamala Harris will spend at least 5 days in the lead-up to it preparing intensely. How do you think she'll go?
I think she's going to be much better than she has been. I mean, people were really disappointed, Gabriella, that she only spoke for 27 minutes instead of, I suppose, an hour or so. I think she'll do better because, you know, she's been under a hard grind now and a lot of pressure, but I don't think she'll be any match for Donald Trump. There's still a lot of debate about whether the microphones will be muted or left on. And if they're left on, that gives Trump an opportunity to interrupt and score points and all the rest, and her too, but it's probably more his style. I mean, I think he'll probably win the debate hands down. There's no way. She's just not a strategic enough thinker nor an accomplished enough strategist or speaker to prevail over someone like Trump. But look, I keep all over the place on networks all around the world, I keep getting asked this question, and I keep saying the same thing. Let me ask you a question. If you wanted somebody to be president of the United States and leader of the free world, and the person who currently held that role stood down and said, I'm not going to run, wouldn't you put your candidate in place the next morning so they could show their stuff and show what they can do? Why is Joe Biden, who has trouble telling what day it is sometimes, still running America and leading the free world? Why isn't Kamala the new president? I'll tell you for why. Because it's very likely that she would mess up and create quite an embarrassment about something before the 5th November, and then the Democrats' goose would be cooked.